Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you know Pat Lynch.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's go. There we go. I don't know. It feels like it's tilted a little bit, eh? Kind of.
It may be a little bit.
It looks like really
it may start really high at my end and get a little bit lower at your end, but that's pretty.
I feel it's the other way.
The floor is pitched this way.
Okay, doesn't it look like I'm higher than Pat?
Well, you're taller than Pat.
All right, whatever. It is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the most professional.
Pat's a solid white cream in this Oreo sandwich.
You know what I love about Pat, Chris? Do you think he
Pepsi?
Do you think he orders or offers or provides anybody else in the podcast with a beer?
No, he doesn't.
You got a case in front of you.
What about me?
Yeah, what about Chris? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us on a beautiful Friday night. So we've gone from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Maybe next week we'll finally get to Saturday.
Oh my God! When the last time?
I don't think so.
It's been a while since we've done a. Well, that was 3 weeks. This is 3 weeks in a row. I'm trying to think. What do we have next Saturday?
Don't you have your parents thing?
No, that's
the
2
third.
weeks.
Oh, we got the Bulls game next week. All right. So we will not be doing another podcast on Saturday next week, probably.
Oh yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us on a beautiful Friday night. I got Chris McGraw with the ones and the twos.
I only have a one.
Yeah, one, and because we have 7,000.
We keep throwing our. SIM
The
cards away.
SD card business is probably a failing business until the McGraws got into the business. We have bought more SD cards than the world's ever needed.
Easily.
We got Pat Lynch here again. Thank you for joining us here, Pat, and bringing us back to this beautiful basement.
It's a little messy.
It's really torn up.
Yeah, no cushioned couch, no dog, no Joe. No beautiful windows.
Turn the cat down if you want.
No natural light.
No, we got Pepsi here now too.
Smells like burning down here.
Yeah, it definitely smells like burning.
Hey, it's warmer than
Probably
usual.
gonna die.
It's warmer than usual, right?
Yeah,
It
could
happens.
be that, yeah.
Yeah, could be the midnight rape, or the sock stuck in my throat.
The new
And then
JR show.
Chris McGraw and Peter McGraw are gonna do a little fancy dancy Irish coffee. Pat, you're saying to yourself, why are these guys drinking an Irish coffee? It was Irish Coffee Day on Thursday.
On Thursday.
Terrific.
So you know what we're doing, Pat?
Irish coffee's on Friday?
On Friday.
On Friday. Because we're professionals and we have to work on Fridays and Saturdays now, apparently.
Yeah, every day.
And Sundays.
Ask yourself.
Any day that ends in Y?
Yeah, ask yourself. Do I have to work? Yes. Do I have to work? Yes.
Is it a day that ends in Y? Because if
Yes.
it is, you're working, Pat Lynch.
Yeah, we had to work a little extra this week so we could get Sunday off, Pat.
Nice.
Don't tell the boss that though.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna just tab this a little bit of that, look at that. We don't even need,
Irish up that coffee, boy.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Could have JMO'd it up. That would have been appropriate, right?
I told him to put JMO in there, but I know Peter, my boy, doesn't like JMO.
Who likes JMO, honestly? Who says it goes home at night and thinks I need some JMO?
Gavin?
I thought so.
When's the last time you think Gavin's had some?
Probably that weekend in Traverse City.
Or in Nielsen, Vegas? No?
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Look at how beautiful this looks. Oh, Chris, you are welcome, my friend.
Do you know what doesn't go well with a guy in a beard and a mustache?
Foam?
Whipped cream.
Oh, again, ladies and gentlemen, look at how beautiful this is. This has got to be new. This is from Delight Cold Foam Cream.
Yeah, Katrina used that sometimes for coffee.
Pepsi, do I have something in my mustache?
Not too much.
Got the cream of some guy in there, buddy.
Thank you.
Oh, look at how beautiful this is, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the curvature of the foam breaching the coffee with a little bit of the whiskey. I can't tell you how excited I am.
He just went from 6 to midnight, Pat.
Oh, tremendous.
You may want to move over here.
Tremendous. It's going to be a great night, ladies and
We may
gentlemen.
have to end the podcast early here, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, do you know the last time we did one in your basement was the
Wedding,
probably the wedding, because we got the notes for the wedding, Pat. I got a few things I want to talk about today.
Can't wait.
Oh, do you?
I do. How are you guys doing? How's your week?
It's been a lovely, fun, long week, especially considering our car died on Wednesday night because we didn't have enough gas.
Story. That's a great story. So our dum-dums. Well, it's a little bit of the Les Brew and the McGraws just always holding out too late for gas. So was it Wednesday night or Thursday? Yeah, it was
Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
The only night we got to go home early. We didn't even make it home early.
Do me a favor, Pat. Take a picture of that real quick. I need to get that on the Gramsci's. That looks so beautiful. So, Pat, we worked Friday night or Monday night. We worked late. Tuesday
We worked Monday night.
Tuesday night. And Wednesday we decided let's give ourselves a break. So we're driving home, and I'm looking at the gas tank, or I'm looking at the meter that says 50 miles to empty. I'm like, okay, great. And it got to 30 miles to empty when I picked up Chris. But it was on, there was no bar for the gas anymore. And I literally said to myself, I should just stop and get gas now and not even chance it. But I was like, I can get to the Oasis. It'll be fine.
The Oasis are more expensive.
But I would have thrown $10 in.
Yeah, we would have
gotten
gone to Costco in the morning.
We got right before the 88 or the 88
right
to
between the
294
split of the 294 and the 290.
and it still said 30 miles to the gallon.
But the car wasn't going anymore?
We still had 30 miles to empty.
The car not going so
No,
much?
the car didn't turn. The car wouldn't start. Blah blah blah.
Oh, that's so good.
So
Do you guys
Mr. Anderson,
have AAA?
no, Mr. Anderson was not too far away, so he was kind enough. But then he thought we were on the 294 south for some reason, and got on there, and then had to circle around. So we had to wait. But he was kind enough to bring us 2 gallons of gas.
And we were still scared that wasn't work because it didn't trick the Subaru into saying, hey, this is how much you got. The Subaru never clicked until we got a full tank in. It was so annoying, dude. There's nothing worse. Cars are just fly. I don't know if you've ever ran out of gas on the highway. It's the first time for me and Chris.
No, I've not run out of gas ever.
It was asinine. This is actually the second time. Same car, too. The Lesbaru lied to us twice already at this point, so we probably shouldn't trust it as much.
So you're
as
saying
we do.
the 30 miles that I have currently in my gallons will risk it tomorrow morning?
You
Probably
gotta-
not
yeah,
worth
we're
risking
just
it.
be a little more careful.
If it says 30, I'd be wary of your next gas station.
It's not beeping at me yet.
We got put in the middle of no man's land when we ran out of gas. There was nowhere you could go.
So say
to
if I
go
risk
to gas.
it and I don't get to Downers Grove tomorrow morning? Oof, that's a tough one.
The only problem is, though, nobody gives a
But you
hoot.
could possibly
They were
be stuck on the
going so
294
fast,
where
yeah.
you can't get off then.
They were rocking us. Dude, I was getting so aggravated. I'm like, come on, we got to go. It was, I've gotten mad at people, like I've seen people like that before, and I'm like, oh, why do you do this? And then you realize like it can happen easily.
And you're the only one in your car, Pat. We at least had 3 people in ours.
So if we're all going to die, we're going to die together. Yeah. That's the type
Or
of
we
week
could
we
have
had.
pushed. We could have pushed on the shoulder until we got to the Oasis.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what do we? So last week, Thursday, we did the podcast. Friday, because we had the Hawks game. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what. Pat Lynch absolutely outdid himself with his bachelor gift. He really kicked me and Brian Hamilton in the nuts with our gifts.
I don't have to do anything. You know
Oh,
what to do.
yeah, no. Can't be those guys. So now we have to come up with like courtside tickets for all our groomsmen because Pat Lynch literally knocked it out of the park. I swear to God, we could have been maybe 10 rows from so we went and saw a Hawks game at the United Center for Pat's, for all the bachelor, everybody in his wedding party.
The ushers and the groomsmen.
We were 10 rows from the glass. This is the best hockey game I've ever seen. Not the best sporting event because there's nothing better than sitting on the court, but for hockey, I would take those seats all day, every day.
That was pretty nice. I sat a little bit closer at a hockey game, but like that was like the perfect spot to be at.
Yeah, I've said like center ice,
Ooh,
like in the 3rd or 4th row, but I thought behind the net was cool. It was closer but behind the net.
I've been like 3rd row, like off the side of the net, but it's kind of nicer being like a little bit further back because you can see a little bit more of the action. You're not like right up on the board.
You guys, it seems like you guys maybe were on the sides. Is it better to be on the sides? Did you like that?
I actually liked being that close behind the net because you saw a lot more of the action.
Because when
That's
you're
what I was
in
thinking.
the middle of the ice, you can't really see. Like at least we couldn't see the other side that great, but we could see our side really well.
I mean, when you're like kind of on the side, you can only really see one side pretty well. Like behind the net, even though like the puck on the other end, you can't really see what's going on. You can still see kind of some of the play developing down there, so it wasn't as bad.
When you're in the middle, you see all the transitional stuff, but you don't really see like in the zone.
Action in the zone, yeah. Dude, and ladies and gentlemen, we got the Hawks went down 1, and then the first period they were just peppering this coach or this goalie with shot after shot after shot. It was such a great first period.
And they went down 1-0.
1-0. Then they were up 3-1 going into the third, and we all no one was celebrating. We knew who the Hawks were. And
who they thought we thought they were.
yeah, and they definitely gave it up immediately. And but so they go to OT. This is the second time. Last time I actually saw a Hawks game was OT and they lost. This is the first OT win I've seen.
You mean the last time?
At United Center, yes.
Yeah,
I forget about the Vegas game, but yeah, we saw
that one was in overtime too.
I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And another W.
So in 2024, all I've seen is dubs because I've only seen one. No, we saw the Bulls when the Bulls kicked some butt too.
You trying to risk that next weekend?
The last three matchups we've seen have been dubs at the United Center.
Mm-hmm. So, living the dream, ladies and gentlemen. And they won it with and I literally called it. Patrick's like, what is it? Like, how does this go? How many periods they have? And I'm like, Patrick, don't even worry about it. He's about to score right now, and the dude scored immediately on that shot. Beautiful night. Then we went out and partied a little bit. Nothing crazy, but we were trying to leave, and of course the DJ lights up the dance floor.
Oh, that was
That night was, I thought, a little bit better than Saturday night, just because the band at Above City was, or Joe's Live was a little.
Oh, you got there late as hell, and you were not happy about that.
I was pissed.
They were true to their form where they said they played 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
I don't think they played any early. Maybe like 2 songs from the early 2000s.
They may have played.
They weren't 2000s. It was just, I think
it was like late 90s.
Yeah, there was nothing that was like
it was
2000s.
mostly 80s and 90s,
Yeah,
early
well.
90s.
But I mean, like, if you look at their thing, I think
they did. I don't know if you guys caught the trend of the night there, where it was like one guy song singer, one female song singer, back and forth.
Well, I think like they put like the lady on. For
I wasn't
2
paying
songs.
attention enough to notice that.
They put the lady on for like 2 songs. Then she would have a wardrobe change.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you're right, Joe's at Live. You don't need a wardrobe. Let me stop you. Let me save you a little bit of money. You don't need a wardrobe.
This is her moment, Peter. This is as big as it's gonna get. You remember we saw this band at Bub City a few times.
No, we saw them once. And we saw them for like 2 songs, and we left.
Oh yeah,
there was a reason we left then.
Pierce. The best part of that whole entire thing was me and Pierre were sitting there for like about like a good 10 minutes, and the lady kept singing a song. And there's one part of the stage where she was purposely standing at because it made her hair flow in the wind.
Oh.
And Pierre's like, "Do you think she's purposely doing that, or why does she need to be doing that?" And I'm like, "She's mocking us, Pierre. You need to go up there and fight her."
it was so bad.
Pierre was so mad.
But Sunday was a great night because I didn't get drunk at all. So Sunday was an easy.
They did get us on that, but when they're at when they play at Bub City and places, they're just the hillbilly whatever rock star or something. So they threw it off by the whole like their set list, the Don't Rock the Jukebox set list thing that they call it.
Oh yeah, that was great.
So they threw it off a little bit that way. To the sneaky.
Yeah, no, it was hard garbage. Also, that Chris Stapleton like impersonator literally has a wig. Like
does he?
Yeah, he doesn't have long hair. He's got the beard, doesn't have the long hair.
It's okay, you know.
Yeah, and then we walked over to Bub City afterwards in Rosemont, and that was not.
Actually, I thought that band was better.
That
for, like,
band,
the 4 songs we heard.
it was, but like you still didn't want to be there.
No,
I don't think Bub City Rosemont is the same vibe as downtown.
No,
that bar is
No.
more depressing after
We went there.
the food clears out.
I'm trying to think. The last time we were there with Joe. I think Pat, you may have been there, but that was a little bit crazier. That one was like
We were there around the holidays,
but it was
time.
still very similar. I think.
Yeah.
like where it's just like, yeah, it's a weird vibe.
It's not a real.
Rosemont's not. It is just not what it used to be, and I'm not sure what the
It was
trend
also
there
really
is.
cold last week too.
The bars have just not been great more recently, anyways. Too, you're right, and
that's because a lot of people don't drink as much, man.
Well, it is dry January, so that's a big thing on Instagram where people are, hey, hats off to you.
I'm dry January, no worries.
Yeah, me too. I just don't. Well, this is the most sober probably January I've had in a while. It's been like 2 weekends. And it was like the weekend before.
Pierre got trashed up in Michigan, guys. You should have seen him out there.
Off the weekend before skiing. We didn't really go out. And the weekend after.
Oh yeah,
skiing,
well that's because we put a great.
No, it was 2 weekends. That's you dumb.
We put that great weekend in before that weekend after New Year's where we were on like a 5 or 4 day binge.
That was New Year's Eve weekend.
Yeah, that
was a
weekend
binge.
we were on
Yeah,
a
that was
binge.
not good.
You could not do the next weekend and start
you couldn't.
binging again.
No, you couldn't. Joe stayed home.
We did something the weekend after New Year's.
Yeah,
No,
we
just
went
me and went to Carol's.
Carol's. Where Pierre got catfished by the band. He wasn't happy about it.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, not great.
Well, they're going to play the Google Dolls, I think, in a week or 2.
You guys want to get into Vince McMahon?
What do you guys think
That
about this
guy's
beer real
nuts.
fast?
Oh yeah, let's get into that. That's not a bad move. So, Chris, what'd you think of your first? Let's start with you drank that like it was like you enjoyed it.
He likes.
Well, you know me,
He
I
likes
like-
foam in his mouth.
You know me, I like whiskey and bourbon. But I'm not the
coffee?
biggest fan of the bitter taste of the coffee.
No, yeah.
The coffee wasn't great. Outside of that, like if you get like all of it mixed together, like the whipped cream, the bourbon, and the coffee all mixed in like one
Yeah.
it's pretty nice. The nice sweetness.
Yeah, it's not bad. Dude, I bought.
You get just the coffee and the bourbon, bitter as all hell.
Oh yeah, that's a little tough, and you get that little hit in the back of your throat. I got the guy. Every Friday we get the guys. I get the guys refreshers. I get a coffee, and there's nothing worse, Pat. I swear to God, there's nothing worse than when you get bitter, burnt, nasty coffee from Dunkin'. It just absolutely ruins your day. You're so excited. I only buy myself coffee once a week.
It's like when I get myself a strawberry refresher and they tell me they only got peach.
Yeah, that's tough. Hey,
Or now it's just mango pineapple. I'm getting pissed that they won't send us new ones.
Turn the light just to sway a little bit, like just
It's gonna fuck this up.
Yeah.
I want some.
Oh, perfect. There we go. Now I got a little more light on me.
I want some new flavors.
We're calling
both
Pepsi the shaker
Starbucks
now.
and Dunkin'. Give me some new refresher flavors, damn it. If you can give me new coffee flavors every quarter, you can get us a new goddamn refresher flavor every once in a
Also,
while.
can we go
more
back to a
R&D.
better cold brew flavor? Like we got no cold brew flavor this month. We got some. This is the worst month.
You get the worst one because you right now you get the worst one, Peter, because of Valentine's Day.
Oh, I know.
And
Yeah,
those coffees just look nasty as hell.
But Starbucks is stepping up the game with the pecan cold brew, boys. Let me tell you what. A pistachio. Yep. Sorry.
Don't worry. You get in like 2 weeks. You're gonna have that Irish cream back.
Okay. So and then now let's go into the Leinenkugel Sun Wheat. I actually like this a lot.
Yeah,
I can definitely tell the blueberry in there.
Yeah, it's not so overpowering. It's good. I like it.
Welcoming back a fan favorite, Leinenkugel Sunset Wheat is
Leinenkugel, they do.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Shut
I'm reading
the
it.
hell up.
Jesus. Leinenkugels Summit Wheat is a Belgian wheat beer with citrus, blueberry, and natural coriander flavors for delight. Fruity aroma and light, refreshing citrus taste. We are thrilled to bring back this classic beer, but it's only available for a limited time, so be sure to stock up while you can. The Leinenkugel family.
Oh,
now,
baby.
Pat, what goddamn comment did you have to say to interrupt me?
Oh, baby, read some more.
I blew through that. I'm so mad. I was about to 3D.
It was hot, damn it.
I was going to 3D him through this table
You
right
missed
now.
a few words in the beginning there, but it's okay. We won't hold it against you.
Your comment, please. That was so important that it had to.
No, he had
interrupt me.
he had all the words in there. You just cut them off halfway through.
I said
Thank you.
it's. I thought the blueberry more overpowering than it is, but it's pretty good.
No, you're right. I actually think this gives you. Here's a dumb thought. I didn't really realize the blueberry until I heard it was blueberry, and now that's all I'm tasting.
It tastes kind of like a pancake in your mouth, like a blueberry pancake.
I get that. Yeah.
100%. I agree with that too. No, I like this a lot. Leinenkugel, you guys really do a pretty nice job with these weird beers.
They do. They got not the summer shandy, but the other one, the berry one. It's pretty good too.
Oh yeah,
Weiss.
the berry shandy.
Pierre, you're gonna mix this with 312 or not 312, but the summer shandy to see if you can get a
Blueberry.
sunset.
Yeah, that's not a bad move. And a sunset and a
I wanted to see
sunshine.
if it was blue at all, but it doesn't look like it. I can't.
No,
Oh,
it's not
I would
blue.
imagine no.
You could see it in the top here. It's not blue. What do you guys think about going out to John's for maybe the Kentucky Derby? So we can start trying his beers out.
Oh, bold choice.
Bold choice. Think about it.
Hold on.
I don't need an answer yet.
It's the second weekend in May, right?
Yep.
Let me see what date that is. But
Okay.
you guys can continue talking.
As we're talking, as Chris is doing us a favor looking that up, Pat, I know we wanted to start just our conversation, but holy,
I like it.
yeah,
It's the 11th. It's in between Pepsi's and Michael's birthday. Beautiful
perfect.
time.
I'll let him know. Vince McMahon, so this week they started out with they got a huge 10% bump in TKO stock because Raw is now officially on Netflix.
Well, it will be in 2025.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're taking over the rights. It's crazy that we're literally gonna lose the ability to see a lot of things unless you have a lot of subscriptions.
Did you,
I guess, to be honest.
Did you hear about they Netflix takes over in 2025?
Yep.
But their deal with USA I think runs out at the end of September.
Correct.
And they need 3 months of
They're thinking it's going to go on Peacock.
Oh, is it? I was reading about it and they hadn't made any decision. But the only thing that came out was USA was not dealing with it, which is kind of interesting because
But USA doesn't have an online subscription or anything anyway.
But the USA Network USA Network was not going to air them. But the interesting thing is NBC owns USA Network, so the fact that they would put them on Peacock for 3 months is kind of interesting.
Peacock
as well.
has all the pay-per-views. I'm not sure if that's still going to be the same way after the Netflix.
Oh, I doubt. No, I doubt. I would assume everything. Well,
because
maybe.
SmackDown is going to be on USA.
Is it on USA?
Yeah, they retooled them. So Raw's going to Netflix, SmackDown's going to USA,
And then
whatever the hell the other one is.
The other one's going to CW.
Go to the CW. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't realize. I knew that they were leaving Fox. I didn't realize they were going back to USA.
So they're just rotating.
They
around
thought
a little
TBS was going to take it over because of
Doesn't they have the
because they're
wrestling?
losing the NBA rights.
Warner Brothers were going to lose
Yeah.
the NBA rights, so Warner
Don't they have
Brothers.
the other wrestling show?
Yeah, but they were thinking about getting WWE because they were losing out on the NBA rights.
I thought Amazon would make a play for it, to be honest.
Interesting.
That's a good call.
Because they want live content. All these places want live content.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
think about how much they're paying for a shitty Thursday night game.
I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon picks up the NBA rights or tries to pick up some of the NBA rights.
But now would they? And that would only be you would have to have Prime to watch a lot of this stuff,
Correct.
right? God, you're just gonna have to go to a bar. I don't. Here's the thing. I whine about it,
Prime
but I don't ever watch. No, you're right. I do have Prime too. Who doesn't have Prime? But I don't watch any. I don't watch any sports really unless it's at the bar.
Prime is like I wish everything was on Prime. It's been my favorite one because it's already included with all the shipping I get anyway. So
yeah.
as well.
Well, let me get into this. I just want to make sure that's recording.
I think it's funny that Vince resigned, came back, and now he had to resign again.
Oh, did he resign too?
He resigned tonight.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
His little thing pops up.
Did you? So they have this big pop, and then of course this comes out, and I got a few thoughts on this. It seemed okay. So he's an idiot, and what he was doing.
Don't be texting, baby. Don't be texting.
What he's doing is definitely not right, but
allegedly, doing.
Yes, but isn't there a little bit of consensual to it, or is there not? Or because. Like I have to imagine that I get that he's her boss, but at the same time, it seemed like until he was doing some really effed up stuff.
It seemed like I guess you could argue that he has like financial control over it because of her
job
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In her position, I think in her position in life when she got the job, sounded like she was pretty down and out at the time.
Oh yeah, that's not good though. No, you can't take advantage of that.
I think the weird thing. I think also like the strongly encouraging, let's put it the best, to have sex with other people, probably
not great.
Crossing some lines.
That's not looking good.
But what the hell are you thinking, Vince?
I mean, he could have just paid her the other $2 million. Don't have to worry about it.
Oh yes, you're right. Yeah.
But you got cheap. You got cheap on her, Vince. She came back.
That's so.
But
dumb.
also, let's also think about the plus side here. Vince got paid how much for this TKO acquisition when they?
He got paid. He probably got paid a crap ton. They finally got He probably got the deal for. He got the deal for Amazon. He probably got paid out for. Or he's going to get paid out for that, and then
he's still probably one of the majority sharedholders after the selling all those stock, anyways. So
yeah, but that doesn't. He's just a piece of shit.
He's making cash.
Oh, he's absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think? But did you ever think he was like a nice guy? Like, does he ever like? Even though I know it's going to be the character in the W, but like, he doesn't strike you as a guy that's like a nice guy.
This is how dumb I am. I get that it was a character in the W. I always thought him and his wife because I always thought I just never thought that it was. Some of the stuff like defecating on the woman. I didn't know that it would be. Stuff like that.
You didn't think it went super far, like you could see. I didn't
even think. Like honestly, I don't know. I don't know why I thought
it was like cheating and that's it. Get a little something on the side.
Well, but I don't know. I just thought him and his wife.
I feel like anybody that's in like that upper echelon, like 1%, is always like your wife understands that you're kind of like
that you're weird.
You're maybe weird, but you're also like you have like side pieces. It's almost like. I've been watching Sopranos.
The Gumas.
Yeah, like I've been watching Sopranos, and like all the guys have chicks on the side. It feels like all these like people.
Where do these guys get the energy? That's what
it's like. Goodfellas, baby. You got the Friday nights for the girlfriends, Saturday for the wives. Or vice versa. One of the two.
Can you imagine having that much? You know what? You know why we don't have side chicks? It's because we have our group friends.
I've got side chicks. It's called work.
Yeah. You don't. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, but Vince McMahon was a guy who was working all the time.
But he never left the office.
Yeah. You know what he was working? He was working laying some pipe.
Yeah.
That's what his work was.
I honestly just don't. I don't know.
You used to tell everybody he's working out for 12 hours a night. Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, Peter. You know how hard it is to book a wrestling show? It's not that hard.
Yeah, you're gonna win. All right, move on.
I mean, sure. I don't know.
Get the Rock out there. Call some people some jabronis.
Maybe.
I wrote the first hour of TV right here.
Guys need to work out more. Just burn some energy.
I don't know. Vince. They say Vince worked out like.
No, he was all roided up.
But they still said he still did like really long. He would work out at like 4. They said like The Rock used to say that he'd go there like he's working out like like midnight to like 3 a.m.
And that man just got some issues. He's got some real issues. I just can't believe.
And he's got a Hitler mustache still.
Yeah, that's still not
that whole entire setup with like his jet black.
You know what though? He looks great for 80 though. Let's be honest. If you look like that at 80, would you not be? You wouldn't be so mad.
I wouldn't be mad, but I mean, I wouldn't also be dying. I wouldn't be dying.
82, I wouldn't be mad either.
Do you ever hear there's Chris D'Elia? They do a funny joke about Hugh Hefner hearing about Me Too, and he's like, "Wait, what? Wait, they're gonna start talking?" And he just goes, "Okay," and he just like fucking dies because that man. Talk about if any of those real like the 70s, 80s where they had secret tunnels and they were drugging women and doing things that were not great.
None of that surprises
me. The Quaalude was real popular with that.
Oh yeah, that too. Yep.
Bill Cosby, get a Jello pudding with a Quaalude.
Cosby was a huge.
Jello pudding pop.
Yeah, no, that's not great. God, isn't it absolutely? That's just craziness. How is that ever? Oh, I had notes on my phone that I can't get to because, ladies and gentlemen, this week we're doing the iPhone record.
We're flying by the seat of our pants again.
Okay, let's get into. So, okay, Pat has some thoughts on this. A few things. Well, first of all, we saw the last game of the coach for the Islanders because after the Hawks whooped that booty, they fired him because they were so pissed at the Islanders losing to a AAA team.
Yeah,
also,
pretty much.
The Hawks road record is insane.
Dog.
They think they've lost 19 straight now.
They haven't won a game since like November on the road.
Nice.
They are garbage.
How is that still allowed? Like, how is that?
Was it the Vegas game that we saw?
No, it was a couple weeks after they beat not the Hurricanes, the Lightning on the road.
What do you think about? I meant to text Brian. I was going to text you, Brian, and you, Chris, because I know you guys are a little bit more NBA fans. What did you think about what the Bucks did?
I couldn't believe.
I honestly had to look up the Bucks standings.
One at a time.
I honestly had to look up the Bucks standings. I'm like, were the Bucks doing that bad? I thought they were doing fine.
They're second in the East.
They're second in the East. I'm like, this guy must have really pissed somebody off.
I couldn't believe that they lost or they ended up firing their coach. I'm like, what the hell is going on? And they're like, oh, it's this defense thing. They were like fourth in the NBA in defense last year, in total defense. This year they're like 22nd. And I'm like, oh, well, I can understand that. But still, it felt so weird that they were like 30-13. They were second in the East, and they decided, oh, we're just going to fire our coach. And then like I sent the text to Brian. I'm like, did you see that the Bucks fired their coach? He's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And they're looking. I'm like, who's available right now? I was like, they're talking about.
That's what my thought was. The Doc Rivers part.
Who hasn't never won a championship, right?
No, he won
the
Celtics.
But he had the three.
I had to go back and think about it. I'm like, did he ever win one?
Because he wasn't good enough. He's not been good enough.
He didn't win
one
in Clippers. He didn't win one
with
in Philly.
Yeah. I think Philly's. Dude, here's where I'm wrong with the athletes. I don't think I've never thought Lamar Jackson has been that great. I'm wrong on that. I've always thought
we'll find out Saturday.
Well, he's
Sunday.
He's going to be second. He's going to be second MVP. If he's get two MVPs, he's going to be.
Manning won how many? Or Dan Marino won how many MVPs? You don't consider him a greatest quarterback ever, though.
Well, I'm not saying Lamar's the best quarterback, but he's going to be a Hall of Fame player if he gets a second MVP. He's in a Hall of Fame. I've never thought Lamar was that great. I am wrong, 100%. I still, in the back of my, and for me personally, when I watch him play, how he throws the ball to me makes no sense. Like, I just don't think it's a good throw. But that's just me. But if he wins MVP the honors this year, he's a Hall of Famer for sure. And then Joel Embiid, I've always thought Joel Embiid, I'm like, he's never going to take a team to championship.
If he gets to play the Bulls every week, he could.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Don't forget about that noise.
He's an amazing player, and he's great for his size. He put up 70 this week.
You also put up 70 tonight?
Who? Oh, somebody put
Luka Doncic put up 70.
Yeah,
he put up 70.
He had 41 in the first half, I think, or something like that.
This is asinine. Like, there's got to be some.
They're not playing defense right now.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's nuts. But yeah,
everybody's tired from that in-season tournament, man.
Could be, but like, yeah, like the problem with like Joel Embiid, and I like him a lot. I think he's a great player. It's like the Tom Thibodeau effect. Tom Thibodeau teams were great during the regular season because they worked their ass off, but then they're working on another gear. When everybody gets to the playoffs, they get to that other gear where like it feels like Joel Embiid is working at that gear throughout the whole entire season, but then he doesn't find that next gear in the playoffs, and his team's just like kind of crumble because he's up there. Now, granted,
that's kind of like
they got the old Raptors coach.
Now,
right?
granted,
how are the Suns doing? Or not the Suns? How are the Pistons doing these days?
The Pistons are awful.
Still bad?
They won
a game.
Yeah, they finally won a game, but like they were like 0 for like what 26 or something.
Yeah, they made the Bulls look good.
I'll tell you right now how they're doing.
And then we've got politics wise, the world is crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. My favorite thing this week is in the little time I like to troll people in that chain who were like on Justin Fields nuts like it's like a
There's one guy I think, motherfucker.
Detroit's only won 5 games this year.
Nice. No, let's not even get into that. That was annoying the crap out of me on. I don't remember what day it was when they was going off, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
That's why I threw the Geno Smith out there as definitely a better quarterback.
Oh, you got me. I was like, you ready to go?
I was trolling. I was trolling.
Who else did? Oh, and then what did he? I don't know if Brian was doing the same thing, but Brian said something like, Oh,
No, then I put
CJ Stroud.
No, then I said if they should have picked Matt. They should have picked Zach Wilson, or they should have picked Mac Jones.
They could have picked any of those, but
They should have picked them both. One of the two.
No. When Brian said that CJ Stroud, when he didn't have time like he didn't have time versus was it the Ravens that they played?
Yeah, he still didn't throw any picks though.
But he looked like shit.
He didn't look great.
But that's what I'm saying. If he doesn't have time, when he had time, he has a great offensive line. You give Justin Fields that amount of time, who knows what the difference is? He's never had a decent offensive line. I'm not saying Justin Fields is the answer, but to say CJ Stroud after 1 year is light years or hugely different than or that much better than Fields, I don't think that's accurate. I don't know where you gotta. It's also his rookie year. I think 2 years in, we'll find out where
cowards
he is.
if you don't like Justin Fields. Cowards.
Well, I don't know about that either.
Cowards.
I wouldn't mind. I don't know why anybody's.
I mean, when you only throw for 175 yards, granted, you're playing probably the best defense in the league, and at least he's in the playoffs, right?
You know the only thing that one problem they also have in Houston. There's two. I was kind of paying attention to Houston a bit more recently. They have two problems. Is that they have zero run game.
Oh, absolutely, no run game.
No run game.
And they have one wide receiver.
And they're
their rookie was good.
They're a big play offense. So like if you look at a lot of their, they get like one chunk.
They get
plays.
chunk yards. Yeah.
So like if against a team like Baltimore, you're not going to get chunk plays, and then you can't move the ball because you're not good at underneath stuff right
but
now.
Again, all I was saying there is I don't think CJ Stroud is that like. To right now, I think he's a better quarterback, but I don't think he's light years better than Fields. I don't know where he's at.
He had a very impressive rookie year. So
Yeah.
Justin Fields has had 3 average to below average seasons so far as a pro.
Yeah, he's had flashes, and you can have flashes all you want.
Get you fired, baby.
Well, I don't know. I here's my thing. I would trade the pick if you can. If you
do you like the new OC hire?
Oh yeah, I do. I like it a lot actually. I think he's done a great job. I thought he's done a great job with Geno Smith. What he did with Geno Smith, yeah, I'll take what he can do.
If the Bears can get another wide receiver, because obviously Geno Smith can be looking good with Tyler Lockett and what's his
McCaffrey.
face?
I get that with McCaffrey, but I didn't think Lockett
DJ
was
Metcalf.
Lockett's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Lockett's solid too.
Both.
Yeah, but isn't he been on? He's kind of on his.
I'd take Lockett in a heartbeat over anybody the Bears except DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, DJ Moore is better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously DK Metcalf, DJ Moore, but Tyler Lockett as a second wide receiver is pretty solid. And I mean, the rookie that they drafted
you just don't
last
hear about
year,
him as much, but okay.
The rookie that they drafted isn't bad either. I mean, he wasn't great this year, but he should progressively get better.
They're saying the guy that hired in Carolina, I don't know his name, David something.
Oh, the new coach,
coach there,
the guy that
so he
Baker Mayfield to a renaissance.
So actually, if you look at his career, he did a little more than that. So he was the QB coach for Wilson when Wilson was good in Seattle. He worked with Geno Smith when Geno Smith had his really good year 2 years ago. Then he went to Tampa this year, got Baker Mayfield to throw for 4,000 yards, and now he's going to see what he can do with Bryce Young looks like.
Yeah. He's not. He's the head coach though, right?
Yeah, he's the head coach.
He was the OC for Tampa.
Well, you weren't gonna. What did you think of the
Jim
Harbaugh going to the Chargers?
I think
that made the most sense.
I know everybody's upset about that, but. He wants too much.
I'm more upset that he's not a Bears coach, but
he wasn't going to come to the Bears. He wants to pick the groceries and cook the groceries, and he's not going to be able to pick the groceries when you got Brian Poles, who everybody in the Bears organization like he's going to pick his GM. They haven't hired a GM yet.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is.
I still think it's a good move for the Chargers.
I Mike Vrabel too over Matty Eberflus.
I don't know.
I'm shocked that nobody's hired him.
He's got still a couple openings.
He's got 2.
Yeah,
I think the guy from Detroit's going to Washington.
The offense coordinator.
Yeah, he's.
So I think it's going to be Seattle or nothing for
Vrabel.
Yeah.
Where does Belichick go then?
He doesn't go anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
I think he could. He might take a year as a.
Yeah,
DC.
he's not going to coach this year.
But he's not going to coach.
No one's going to give him a job this year.
His best shot is
not as a head coach, but I was listening to Carmen and Yurko, and they've talked about that. He loves coaching enough that he might take a DC.
I'd be shocked if he took a DC.
Well, but you could be shocked all you want. I'm saying that's what they were talking about on the radio. He could take with a younger coach and then show that he's had 3. Unfortunately, he had 3 years without Tom Brady, and he wasn't doing it. I think he
also has a bunch of years in Cleveland where he didn't do anything either. So.
No, he had a pretty good stint and then he went to the Jets, and then that's when the Jets.
He never
was with the Jets.
Well, yeah, but he was going to go to the Jets
just for like a day.
Yeah, he wasn't that great.
He got fired in Cleveland.
Also, his first 2 Super Bowls were defensive ran Super Bowls. He stopped the and then when he took on Sean McVay with the Rams, that was also 13-3. So I think 3 of the championships were his defense over Tom Brady. So I think there's a little bit there. I just think that and his defense this year was pretty decent. It's just he had a shit offense.
I don't think he's going to be coaching this year. My prediction.
It's possible, but like I said, they talked about on Carmen Yurko, he loves coaching enough that he might, if there was a call from a young head coach to be, he might. It's not immediately say he would turn it down. He doesn't look like he's going to get a head coaching gig.
I was
sure.
real surprised that Atlanta was
Also,
I'm trying to think.
He might hold out. He might hold out for next year for Dallas.
I'm trying to think who would hire him as a coordinator. Like what teams?
Well, there's a couple of young.
Bears
I know.
The Bears need a DC.
Yeah.
So the Packers.
You know what's crazy too? Is,
I don't see
Vic
I couldn't see
Fangio.
either one of those. Vic Fangio's nuts.
No,
He
he's
doesn't like the warm Miami weather. He wants to go to Philly.
no. I don't think that's it. I think the team.
Miami didn't like him.
Yeah, the players there, and then I think about the Bears. All the players loved him here.
Yeah, maybe it just didn't work out for whatever reason.
There's a lot of
He seemed like an odd match with the McDaniels guy.
yeah. He's probably a little bit more strict than
McDaniels seems like more of a player's coach.
I feel like it's kind of like the situation. I don't know if you guys read about the defensive coordinator for the Giants. I feel like
that's a crazy story.
I feel like that could have probably kind of been the same thing down in Miami, but it probably wasn't as bad as what it was between
the
Giants.
and the other guy hated him.
Well, no, I don't think the head coach and Fangio didn't.
But
get along.
I feel like it could. I don't feel.
I
like,
think the players and Fangio didn't.
But
get along.
I think it could have been like something like where like it's similar, like not like where the coaches hate each other, but like they probably didn't see eye to eye on like game planning and stuff like that, possibly, as well as like the players.
I didn't.
We're
yeah.
like,
well, I'm just saying I didn't. What I read was there
yeah.
was.
But what I'm saying is, I think, and I'm not. I have no idea.
But I mean, did you hear? Like, I mean, reading any of that is. I'm just saying I don't. There was no like McDaniels.
I'm thinking it's.
They let him out so he could go to Philly.
I'm just thinking that there may have been like a similar thing where maybe the philosophies didn't quite line up, where like it didn't line. The same thing with the Giants. Granted, like the players liked the defensive coordinator for the Giants, but the coach and the defensive coordinator could not get along. I'm not saying that the Miami coach and Vic Fangio hated each other. Maybe they just didn't see eye to eye, even though, and the players didn't like him at all, which is complete opposite of obviously.
And again,
what the
I'm just saying that I did not hear of.
Yeah, I'm just I'm just saying too.
But you're speculating. There's not like there was nothing reported between McDaniels
I read
and
a little.
Fangio.
I read a little bit where they didn't see eye to eye on like strategy. That's what I read. I did hear about the players absolutely not liking him, and I'm pretty sure that probably pushed that over the edge where they got rid of him for that.
I don't even think they got rid of him. I think he asked to go to Philly.
What's also interesting about that?
Well, they released him, and then he went to Philly.
It's also interesting he was in Philly.
I don't think he would have. I don't think they would have let him go if the players liked him, and they just had like a little bit difference of philosophy. Obviously, the players didn't like him, so that it was easier to let him go.
No, but I think Fangio went to them and was. I think that it was all. It was in a.
Is that what they said, or is that what you think?
No, that's what they were. That's what. And if you read the article about it, where the guys were kicking rocks when he left, is Fangio went to him and said, "Hey, this isn't. We all know it's not.
So it was more Fangio wanting to go to Philadelphia than the players not wanting him around.
No, I think they realized that it wasn't working. Their defense also was hurt, and he wanted a lot of those guys to play hurt. They didn't want to play hurt. That's why they got booted from the playoffs as quickly as they did.
They actually never beat any good teams.
Well, they weren't. They weren't.
They have an offense. Their defense never played, and I think
they weren't playing that well at all to begin with. They were not making any noise in the playoffs.
Well, I mean, if they would have been healthy, that's a different situation. You got Tyreek Hill would have been healthy.
I don't think so. The way they played at the end of the year there with,
but at the end of the year
they lost to Buffalo. They barely beat.
They only won one.
They barely beat Dallas. They had their kicker literally win that game for them, and their offense. I mean, their offense probably was way more out of whack and not doing stuff for that team than it was the defense.
They slowed down a lot, but their offense has slowed down towards the end of the year.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think again it just comes.
They were also devastated.
But they were not. Yeah, they were not going to make any noise whatsoever in that playoffs.
Yeah, again,
but the problem that Philly also has is Philly has an old secondary.
All Philly's defense is just garbage.
I mean, their front line's not terrible, but their back end is very old and slow.
I mean, outside of Jalen Carter, I have no idea who's on that defensive line anymore.
I Yeah, and
Yeah.
you got what? And then what do you think of what's his face? I forgot his name. The quarterback right now. Hurts is another one that I've always thought was kind of I don't know. And I was wrong. I was wrong when he made it to the Super Bowl, but I still feel like
well, it looks like what happened was that they didn't evolve the offense. Like they try to run the same offense, and everybody figure out how to defend it, and then they haven't really taken the next adjustment to it yet. Because in the second half of the year, their offense looked like shit, and their defense looked like shit.
All right, well, my two teams for the Super Bowl are still alive: the Ravens and San Francisco.
I'm half alive, baby.
I lost Buffalo last week.
Yeah, Pierre's Buffalo pick last
I
week.
thought it was, and you know what? Had the kicker made it, there was an opportunity there, but he didn't. So,
You
but I
can't
still,
say-
my original was the. I still think San Francisco. It's going to be San Francisco Ravens again.
That I still don't understand. That
Packers
Buffalo
tried to-
defense couldn't stop anybody anyway.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of the game, but I know that if the kicker would have made it, there was
It
an
wasn't
opportunity
anywhere.
there.
He missed 2 field goals, but
Did he miss
the
two, too?
the game winning kick.
That's what happened to the Packers. The Packers should have won that game.
The game winning kick was. It was nowhere near close.
It wasn't a game when it would have been a tie-in.
It was a game tying, but it was
Yeah.
it was nowhere
Yeah.
close. Like wide righter than wide right.
And it sucks when you're in that situation. Like as a kicker, I get it. Like you just got a job to do. But God, does the hate come?
Yeah, but also I mean, there's like I think like that. Like there, like with the double doink, there are a million other plays that they could have scored some points during the game. It didn't happen. So
I mean, think about the Packers. The Packers should have won that. They should have beat. They should have won that game versus San
Coulda.
Well,
Francisco.
what is it? They blocked a field goal too. I mean, it could have been a tie game at the end of it. Because if they were down 3 and they kicked 2, if they didn't miss 2 field goals, they would have been at 27.
No, that's what I'm saying. But I like think about how many. Like the Packers should have won that game. How many?
Yeah.
They let that game go, and they also were ultra aggressive. I think.
I mean, you watch these 2 NFC teams, and I think that.
Well, that quarterback should have never made. Jordan Love should have never made that last throw across his body.
Yeah, I don't know what he throws.
Yeah, he thought he could throw him open, and he definitely could not off the back foot.
Thought
Well,
was
he
gonna
was
try
not.
to bear
I don't know what he saw, but that guy was not open.
Well, he was thinking the guy was crossing, and he was going to throw the crossover, and he just he let it.
The 49ers got all 3 of them. Like, oh, great cross.
Oh yeah, no, but it was
there was
he
still
threw the
three
ball
guys-
very short. He was
There's
trying to get
still
it to the sideline, I think.
There, it was nowhere near the side.
No, that's what I'm saying because he threw off his back foot. But I think his thought was, "I'll throw it to the sideline and throw this guy open."
I didn't think that guy was getting to the sideline at all. I thought the guy just kind of stopped in the middle of the field and he was trying to hit him.
Watch the play. He crossed the field.
I haven't seen. I
Yeah.
only saw the play at the bar, but I saw the linebacker come across from where from the sideline.
Let's just all be
to the
excited
middle
that
of the
there's no more
field.
Packer football this season either.
And it looked like the wide receiver literally stopped in the middle of the field, and that's where I thought he was throwing it to.
But if you watch the play, it looks like the guy's crossing the field. He was trying to throw him open between the 2 defenders because there was no one behind here. But his ball ended up here, and the defenders, three defenders on him. But he was hoping he was going to run through the 3 defenders. He was going to throw through and over those 3 defenders, and he didn't. Of course he didn't. Because he was throwing off his back foot. Watch the play again. I'm telling you.
Hey, I'm not arguing. I'm
I'm telling you.
Damn, Joe
Yeah,
Keighley over
okay,
here.
calm down, dude.
I want to know.
All I'm
the
saying,
scene-
all I'm saying is you're taught as a quarterback not to make that throw.
Well, yes.
It
But
doesn't
that's
matter
also
what you're
playing the
seeing.
game.
That
You're
must have
playing the
been the
game.
Luke Getzey
Like it's
influence
in
right
that
there.
situation. I'm sure he was thinking I'm going to be the hero. He thought he saw something. He didn't see it. He was
No.
also throwing. He was doing it to Brett Favre.
No.
Brett Favre. Did you see a play where Brett Favre did that? I think it was for the Vikings.
Yeah, Brett Favre loves
Well,
to
Brett
throw
Favre- Brett Favre-
But I'm saying, wait. So hold on. I'm saying, did you
I'm just
see
saying- I'm saying you
there's
don't
a
make
side by
that
side
throw.
of Brett Favre doing the
You can
same
be- you
thing
can
to
do the-
him, or the same thing that Jordan Love did, and it's literally side by side, and it's both. They were both picks, and it was just a very.
I'm
it was
just
a very
saying
similar
you
play.
don't make that throw. Granted, you want to be the
Okay,
hero.
but
Everything.
I get what you're saying. But I'm just
saying-
telling you.
yes,
it was kind of funny that if you see if the Brett Favre was throwing they throw up a side by side of Jordan Love and Brett Favre doing the exact same play, and it looks literally off your back foot like an idiot, throwing across your body, throwing across the. I think it was against the Saints when the Saints won.
when the Saints went to Super Bowl and won. Yes,
Crazy. It's it's crazy how close those pictures look to each other. You know, different uniforms, of course, but it was pretty insane. So we got 49ers versus Detroit. That seems like I don't know.
If Baltimore gets past KC, they're gonna roll whichever NFC team they're playing.
I know everybody's putting a lot of money on the Ravens this week. I feel like that could be a tricky situation.
I mean, the T Swift factor is going to be there, baby. Got to win for T Swift. NFL wants T Swift at the Super Bowl.
Do you know that they're putting they're putting the a referee, and this is just all the conspiracy shenanigans, but they putting a ref on that game that favors the road team more than the home team. Like that's his calls have always been more towards the road team than the home team. So do you think that the
Isn't
NFL,
Baltimore the home team?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so
How do they know that?
what's up?
How do they know that?
How do they know what?
that this referee favors the away team more than the home team?
Because his calls are for the road team more than they are for the home team.
How do they know that?
Yeah, statistically
they've literally gone through each footage of each game and seen this.
Look up the conspiracy. It's so
it's a conspiracy, or it's actual this guy is
this conspiracy is that the NFL wants the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So they've put the referee. Okay, hold on. They put the referee on this game that favors the road team more than he favors the home team.
Okay, so I'm asking is they've gone through this referee's video package of all the games that he's called, and most of the calls that he's made or his officiating crew has made have favored the away team more than the home team.
Exactly.
Okay, that's all I was asking.
And then so the conspiracy is that the NFL put this guy here so they gets the Kansas City team to the Super Bowl. So they get Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl so they can show her 97,000 times on the Super Bowl, and the ratings will be out of this world.
I look forward to it.
Did you guys see? And then the Jason Kelly stuff, or Jason Kelsey. I'm sorry.
He's trying to make a career for after football, man. Don't hate him. Don't hate the game.
It's funny. I watched that clip of Travis and him talking, and Lauren's like, there's Chris and there's Peter, and I'm like, if Chris had 3 kids and a wife, this would literally be the conversation we'd be having right now.
I don't know if Chris is that big of a talker.
Nah.
No, but also Jason's. He's on a podcast. Chris does a great job on the podcast.
Yeah.
You guys see the UFC fight?
No.
I saw highlights of it. Did you talk about the Dupois Strickland one?
Yes, last week.
Yeah, I saw highlights.
What'd you think?
I think it was a close fight. Could have gone either way. Probably the UFC doesn't like Strickland, so maybe went that way.
Well, the other guy had 6 takedowns?
Yeah, I think the takedowns were the difference in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I think Strickland had a ton more strikes thrown and landed, I think, though.
Yeah, he definitely did, but, when you get taken down 6 times.
It's always interesting when you have a chance, when a close fight like that, and then the weight's immediately no rematch. No immediate rematch. It's always interesting when he does that. It seems like it was kind of
he also called it for the other guy too, I think.
Yeah, he called it for Strickland, but and then he's like, yeah, but I don't think they're gonna fight. I don't think they should fight right away because he doesn't. I don't think he thought it was probably the numbers weren't that great for the draw for being a big draw.
It wasn't. But who else was on that fight card?
You can't blame them for that.
But
that fight card was garbage.
But I think they want to put the South African. Is he South African? Is that what the guy is?
What about? I
don't know anybody anymore.
Bo Nichols, I think, is.
They want to put the South African guy against Adesanya next.
I don't think either. Here's the other thing. I don't think either of those guys could go up against Bo Nichols pretty well because Bo Nichols will. Because both those guys didn't have great ground game. They have a tremendous stand up, but their ground game is not. And Bo Nichols will just put him down and submit him.
Hasn't he only had 2 fights
That's what I was thinking,
in UFC though?
I think I think it might.
Granted, he's got 5 professional fights, but he's only had 2 in the UFC, right?
I think he might have 2 or 3. Yeah.
I think he's got 5 total fights, and I don't think anybody's been able to kind of. He's also a national champion.
Has he fought anybody that's any good? I don't know if he's fought, so I'm asking.
I doubt
I think his last fight was against somebody who was pretty decent, wasn't it?
I know they had him fight.
He's on UFC 300 on the prelims right now.
Oh, well, let's hear. Who did they got on the 300 card? I didn't know they had that out.
It's April 13th.
No, it's not April 13th.
Yes, it is.
It's fight week, isn't it?
April 13th, UFC 300.
Okay. All right.
I'm making up the date.
What did you think it was, Pat?
I thought it was the International Fight Week that they're timing up with that one.
No, they can't.
I don't even know what that is.
Just skip a few weeks.
Gaethje versus Holloway's on the main card.
That's good. That should be a good fight.
Zhang Valley versus some other lady.
No idea.
I'm sorry, Chris. That first fight again was Gaethje and who?
Gaethje and Holloway.
Should be a big.
That's a big.
There should be a lot of punches around that one.
The women's strawweight title fight is the opening fight on that card right now.
The women's.
What's the headliner?
There's no headliner yet.
They're trying to get Khabib to come back from one. They
got Yuri Prochazka versus Alexander Radic.
There's no way he could come back that quick, though, right? April.
Who? Habib?
Yeah.
Depends what kind of shape he's in, I guess. He doesn't drink, so
the last guy
he's not partying out like McGregor all the time.
The last guy Bo Nichols fought was on July 8th, 2023. Some guy named Val Wordburn.
Yeah, so
Jamaican guy.
Have any of you guys seen the new Roadhouse trailer with McGregor in it? Jake Gyllenhaal?
It was okay. I wasn't a big fan of it.
I just think McGregor is going to be so bad in that movie.
Did they ever release the one with Ronda Rousey, or did she?
No, they got rid of her.
They just canned that one?
Yeah, they canned that one and put.
Wait, she's in a Roadhouse movie?
She was supposed to be in the remake of it. She was supposed to be Patrick Swayze's character, and then
now Jake Gyllenhaal.
And then she got her ass kicked a couple times, and that was the end of her aura.
So McGregor got his ass kicked a few times, and now he's in the movie.
Yeah, but he's the bad guy in this movie.
Nice.
When is he? He's got a fight coming up, doesn't he, or at some point?
He's supposed to be fighting, I think, at some point this year. They haven't announced.
I think they're waiting for he's the one who's supposed to be fighting on Fight Week.
Yeah, okay. So this will be him and possibly Chandler, but they have not. But White's only confirmed he's going to fight this year. They didn't specify anything, opponent, weight, time, or anything like that.
Oh, man. I miss the days when UFC was once a month or once every, 3 months.
It was always once a month, pretty much.
No, there's so many fights now.
Yeah, well, I mean, the pay-per-views are always once a month, but now they have, fights
but I mean, they have fights every week.
Yeah, how are you supposed to...
It's oversaturation, for sure.
You can't keep up with it.
This is not WWE, guys.
It's just tough. I missed the times. I honestly missed that it was those big fights because you knew everybody. You knew Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, St. Pierre. You knew all the guys. Anderson Silva. Now I don't know. Bull Nichols. You barely know any of the big guys now. I didn't know the last two big fights.
The guys don't have as much charisma. What's the one under light heavyweight?
Featherweight.
No, light heavyweight. The actual light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, welterweight. Or not middleweight. I'm sorry.
So that one they've got who's the Edwards is the champion. He beat Covington, and then you got that Mongolian Russian dude, who he's probably gonna be a great fighter, but he's not selling any fights because no one.
You got John Jones the heavyweight. You got Alex Pereira as the light heavyweight. Duplessis is middleweight. Leon Edwards is.
Yeah, who's got the heavyweight right now?
John Jones
still.
Lightweight is.
There's someone that's an interim. I think someone's got an interim.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's the.
I don't know, some guy I've never heard of, honestly.
Sean O'Malley's the women's champion. I don't know.
He identifies as a female, wins all the belts.
He's fighting soon. Alexander Volkanovski's the featherweight.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Islam Makhachev is the lightweight.
I don't feel like he's going to be as dominant as Khabib. He's going to lose to somebody.
You got Leon Edwards is welterweight. Duplessis, middleweight. The guy who beat... What's his face?
Covington.
No, not the light heavyweight. The guy who beat...
Adesanya and then lost Adesanya.
Twice. Oh, yeah. Edwards? Or no?
No, Alexander Pereira. And then John Jones, but I don't know who the... They don't give me an interim champion for heavyweight.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, now we know them all. It's a nice little list there.
We go to the women's champions. They get those polls up, yeah.
Now, get out of here. Do we talk about Chris turning... What are you turning, Chris? 38?
50.
Holy... here's the thing. Joe sent me a thing on Instagram. Gen X is the one below us, right? They are aging.
Below us being younger or
younger? Yeah.
I thought it was Gen Z.
I'm sorry, Gen Z. Which Gen X? Is
that was the 80s.
Gen X is I think right before. It depends on who you look at.
How
you look at it. It's me or before.
I'll break out the Google machine for you.
Gen Z is aging way worse than we are.
Nice.
Millennials look way younger than Gen Z at this point. And there was a video about it, and there's a guy who was 25 years old. I shit you not, he looked 40. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like people in college look much younger than we look.
So Gen X is 65 to 80 you're born?
Okay, not us.
Not me.
Okay.
So baby boomers are what then? 90 to 100 at this
Gen
point?
Z are 90.
Early 90s.
Someone give me so we got Gen X is 65 to 80. Millennials are 81 to 96. All of us.
That's me.
Gen Z is 97 to 2012.
Damn, dude. Why they?
And then Generation Alpha is 13 to 25.
Do you think there's any?
How is that Generation Alpha?
How do you think they come up with the name for that?
That's a good question. Want me to Google that too?
But yeah, Generation Alpha. That seems weird. No,
I'm assuming because they left from Z, they can't go Generation A, so they have to...
I see. You can't go Generation AA.
So yeah, so now you got Generation Beta. You're gonna have the next generation is gonna be Generation Beta, and they're not gonna be happy.
Is there an actual baby boomer generation, or is it that just one of the?
That was before that was one before Gen X.
Oh, so they're all dead, huh?
My dad's still alive.
Oh.
So your parents are still alive?
They're pretty much dead at this point. Let's be honest. Just kidding. Wait, I forgot I was going to go with that. Oh, yeah. So, hey, listen, we're doing all right. Chris, you look great for 52 at this point. The big birthday. So you still haven't given anybody any ideas how much you want for your birthday.
Yeah, we're going to keep it that way.
We're gonna work with that. Me and Pepsi will come up with something nice. Maybe we'll get a male stripper for you on the next podcast.
Terrific.
Oh, look at Pepsi.
Pepsi's gonna volunteer.
Oh, that's weird.
It's disturbing.
Yeah, that's not good. We got the big boys. I know. So we're gonna have to do a little birthday special for Chris next week.
We'll see.
No, we're going to. We're gonna get in there. What's next week? Oh, we got the Bulls game. That's why. That's why we can't celebrate. We should do a podcast special for you, Chris.
Nah.
Yeah.
We'll do a retrospective of your 100 greatest moments of the podcast. Peter will edit all we can put it together for you.
I mean,
Terrific.
I cannot imagine how long that would take. Like, I love all these podcasts. Actually, this.
We'll find out and get back to us. All right.
If Joe was here, I would have had a great conversation with him. This is the first time in probably 6 months that I've watched more than one Joe Rogan podcast. And this week he had Joey Diaz on. You guys actually listened to that with me.
Terrific.
Forced to. Joey Diaz was tremendous on that podcast. And then he did the first ever with Bobby Lee. And that was another great podcast. But the problem with Joe now, I feel every person that he has on there, it always ends up being political. And it's always about California and the leftists and all this bullshit. And it's just like, can we just not, for one podcast, have... I mean, how often does politics come up in your life, buddy? Like, I feel like it's every podcast you got to do something about it.
He wants to influence the election.
You think so?
Could be.
Do you just want me to... This is where Joe needs... This is why I hate doing podcasts without Joe.
Well, you're doing your best Joe impersonation tonight, trust me.
What do you mean? Why? Oh, because I'm giving you guys a little bit of... I'm not letting you just spew the bullshit shenanigans. I'm giving you a little backup. There's no anger over here.
Oh, a lot of anger.
There's no anger over here. I have no anger. I'm just giving you some
steam coming out of your ears right now.
No, what are you talking about? You know what pisses me off is I give you guys things and then there's no feedback. So then I have to keep going. So
on Joe Rogan and his
yeah, but okay. So what you could just say? I mean,
I don't listen to Joe Rogan. I have nothing to add on it.
Well, okay, then bring some up. Where's the issue on bringing up a thought up? Do you just want to wait for me to continue to give you guys topics until you figure something out?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That doesn't work.
Well, what happened to the emails that we used to get about all the great ideas?
I got a little tired of doing that.
I really wish that was a boo button. That's why I had to do the bun. And
We
then
never really got the boo out there, did we?
No, we never got the boo button. That's a real disappointment. Did you guys see the guy in Alabama got the death penalty with some weird ass new way of doing it?
I did, yeah, and it was supposed to be pretty brutal.
It is, yeah. Did you see that? Alabama was also the last state to allow. What is it?
Electric chair?
No.
I'd like to come on, Pat.
No, Alabama was the last state that allowed a judge to not listen to a jury's suggestion of sentencing, and he could override it.
Yeah.
So this guy who got sentenced to death got overridden by the judge. The jury suggested that he get life in prison without parole, and the judge's like, "Nah, we're gonna kill him." Yeah,
but that was like in the 90s, and they tried to.
Yeah, but like they were appealing it because they changed the law in 2017.
Yes.
He hadn't been on
and
there.
They also they
were trying to get him to, like, they were saying, like, listen, they changed the law. This shouldn't be allowed anymore. Then they should go back to what was ruled
also
on.
the guards there tried to kind of convince the governor to pardon him because he's a perfect, like, not like a I forget, like he's like an upstanding prisoner.
He's a model inmate.
Yeah, there you go. And he has done like a lot of good things. And again,
the governor was like, "Nah, we're not doing that."
You're in the wrong state for that. But I mean, death penalty is always a tough one, especially when you listen to like some of these like true crime things. Like, they talk about like not cruel and unusual punishments and things like that, which I understand. But then you also listen to the things that people did to people, and you're like,
I meant to look.
There was no cruel and unusual, compassion there.
I meant to look up what country still.
I think it's really tough when you're also thinking about like the family. I think it should be up to the family in a lot of cases if it goes through whether the family wants it or not.
I think victims. That so here's the thing with there's a guy who's talking about like who's a quote unquote expert on euthanasia, and he talks about they didn't have to put the gas mask on him. They could have he would have passed away without it, but with them forcing the gas into his face, that would cause more kind of pain and issues to him.
I thought the other thing was that with the gas mask, I know for a fact that maybe they didn't need to do it, but I don't think you could have anybody else in the room then, because if you do, like they were talking about, like if the mask were to leak and somebody else was in the room with them, they could also get affected and like have trouble breathing, because you're not supposed to obviously breathe pure nitrogen.
Have you ever like during a surgery, done like the laughing gas?
No.
It's not like I did it when I got my wisdom tank pulled, and I remember thinking like I need this to end, like this gas in my face, like it was.
They put me out for that.
Yeah, it was not.
There's 13 countries that allow for the death penalty apparently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a tough issue, but I think it's when you look at some of the things people do to people, it's like.
But here's the thing. Here's the reason I don't. You can't leave it up to the family, because again, the family, yes, they want.
Well, I mean, not every family member wants people to put the death.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's you hope that you get the right guy, and I think there's just too many cases of wrong
I think for it to be considered a death penalty, it has to be extremely. It can't just be like some guy killing his wife. It's got to be like.
I think a lot of
tortured people and things like that.
Well, I think a lot of these places do it like if it's just murder, like it's not, but like if they consider it like a capital murder, like it's got to be something egregious. Yeah,
they're like not the just Oklahoma doing it, bomber. I can see.
It's got to be things like or if you're a serial killer, like that tortured and raped like
like
people.
Ted Bundy or John Wayne Gacy.
Like that's not some like this big guy got pissed off his wife and killed her. Like that's not quite the scenario usually. Yeah, which is equally as horrible. But
and you hear about this guy, like again, I
didn't hear this case at all, so I don't know.
He was a hitman for a priest who had his wife.
The priest was great. He was having an affair and he was in debt.
Yep.
And he was trying to get the life insurance on his wife.
Somebody wasn't a Catholic priest, obviously.
No.
Dude, you know what's great, Pat? The show you turned me on to, A Perfect Murder. Holy sweet Jesus! The acting on that, Perfect Murder, right?
I think so.
The acting on that is just unbelievable.
So bad.
It's so bad. Did you listen to the most recent Dateline with a son who was adopted from Ukraine?
Yeah, tried to kill my parents. Well,
killed
one
his
of
dad.
Parents.
He had his dad killed. The punishment for the daughter?
That's daughter-in-law.
His daughter-in-law. Yeah, that was weird. She got very off easy.
How insane is that? Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this podcast, me, Pat, Chris will put up with the Datelines. Actually,
don't ruin it for him, Peter. I think they should listen to it.
That's true. Okay,
they should listen to it. It's a weird sentence that this girl gets. I don't quite understand it.
I started listening to this other one.
That's true. It's a good call.
I started listening to this like Dr. Death one on this guy, this cancer. There's only 3 episodes so far, or 2 episodes. It's kind of interesting. He's like a doctor that was working on a study to he did all this research about like curing the AIDS virus or HIV, and evidently at the end somehow he got charged with murder. So I'm not sure how that got to that point yet, but it seems a little shady so far through the first 2 episodes.
That's got to be your cat, right, upstairs?
Yeah, that's definitely Gideon dragging us up around.
Nice. No, you know what's hitting the waves right now is that Netflix documentary about the woman who was kidnapped.
Yeah, I got to watch that one.
You've heard the Dateline on it.
That's the one where she they thought it was fake, but it wasn't fake, right?
Yeah, and so they put the guy through.
I get that one confused
like
because
8 hours.
Because there was one where it was fake, and they got caught faking it.
The Gone Girl situation. Yeah,
that was not this one. That's a different.
I know. I'm saying, but there's a Gone Girl situation that they thought.
Yeah,
and that was. I think it was kind of prevalent during that time, or something around that. But this, Chris, I don't know if you heard this. It's a lady was. I think they're on an island, not like.
I thought there was a house, though.
No, but isn't it like? Wasn't their area? Wasn't it almost like a? I forget.
Was it like a road? One road in, one road out.
Yeah, kind of thing. Like like a Chesapeake type, situation.
Like somewhere in California, maybe, wasn't it?
But is this the one that we listened to on the way back from like John the one time, or like Michigan or something, and like the lady they put like drunk goggles on them so they wouldn't know.
Yep.
And then like they dropped the girl off, and then like they thought the girl was making it up, and the guy was like,
he was in an 8-hour interrogation. His brother from the FBI was trying to get in there. And it was then they found out the guy.
And even at the end of it, the cops like, we didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, and all those guys, none of them got fired.
Yeah,
they only got this. That's the worst part of that.
I remember I was so mad when you put this one on with like just the ending of it with the way the cops like were like, no, we got the right guy, and it's like,
yeah,
no, and then like some other person got them like found this guy later on, and there was this guy, and the cops still wouldn't admit that they did anything wrong.
Exactly.
And I will not watch this documentary.
I won't either. I can't watch it because you lose all faith in the police.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
It happens too often when the police get an idea and they run with it. And I'm not saying, listen, it's probably 99% of all cops are good, and there's that 1% just really, and that 1% that puts a really bad taste in your mouth. And these guys were just freaking the worst.
They put a real bad taste in my mouth when we were listening to that. I couldn't believe some of the stuff.
The common sense.
Yeah, I mean, there was a few things I watched. I watched something recently where it was the same situation where like the cops said like they were just completely botched they didn't believe that the girl was actually something actually happened to her, and so they're like waiting. It used to happen I think a lot more before. Like recently, I think it's getting better, but like 70s, 80s, like if a girl went missing, they're like, oh, she's out partying somewhere or whatever.
I forget about the 70s and 80s.
There was a guy. Yeah, that's even like you're right. No, this is a whole different. Now it still happens. Like I remember the guy, him and his fiance or his wife, I think it was his fiance, or maybe even just his girlfriend. They went out and they saw a concert. She got really drunk, got all mad at him, left the party, left the group. She went out on her own.
Was it the Fitbit guy?
Yes.
Fitbit?
Yeah. He went home. But they put him in jail for 6 months.
And ruined his life for sure. Yeah. That ruins your life for sure. Like ruins your life.
Your job's done. Every time you Google him, he was a suspect.
Yeah, he comes up. Yeah, it's
unless you can find that. That case, he's probably okay now because they literally have the killer like next to it.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that dude was just an awful individual. Yeah, Jesus Christ. I just saw one today, or I saw an interrogation. This is so insane, ladies. You gotta know. You gotta just be like. I don't know what the crave is with criminals, but this guy literally was out of jail for 3 months. This woman Facebook friended him, let him move in within a week. This dude killed her, robbed her of everything, and took a train down or took a bus down to Florida and tried to get away with it. And in my head, I'm like, I just like common sense would have said, leave this guy alone.
People are lonely for love, man.
She did have 4 children, so who knows what was going on.
4 kids. And she has 4 kids.
Yeah, and then she was killed.
Oof.
God.
Oof.
Wow.
On that beautiful note, Chris, give me some tittle biz. I got some if you don't have any, but I do have a couple plays for this weekend.
No, you do not.
You don't have anything?
No, you do not have any plays for this weekend. You just keep your mouth shut.
Go Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown.
I like that play. Home teams are 7-3 in the last 10 AFC Championship games. That's the Chiefs and the Ravens, Peter.
Oh, you're taking the Ravens then.
The Ravens are 12-6 against the spread this season. The Ravens are 4-point favorites.
And the Niners are 7.5-point favorites. That seems like a lot.
The Lions are 3-6 against the spread this season, the second best mark behind the Raiders. The 49ers are 0-6 against the spread in their last 6 home games. As I saw about 2 hours ago, the 49ers are 7-point favorites. Patrick said they're 7.5, so I looked it up on ESPN. They said 7.
Could be wrong. Could be one of ours. Could be not be updated.
Yeah,
I'm guessing yours is probably more correct because usually they don't bring it the other way around.
So I would take the.
So you got Ravens to win. You got Ravens to cover. And you got the Lions to cover.
Yes.
I got 4. You take George Kittle. I think he had like 61.5 yards. Take the over on that. Take the running back for Detroit.
Which one?
Who not Montgomery.
Gibbs?
Yeah, the other one. Yep. Take his over on his running yards. This is what I've heard. And then take 49ers in the points.
I would take whatever the catch number for Amon-Ra St. Brown is, take the over on that. Boys,
and also maybe go the over on Purdy because he
over on what?
His yardage. His throwing yardage.
I wonder what that is.
Because
the Lions have a shit defense. Yeah.
They have a shit. They've
passing
got
defense.
Well, yes, their secondary is garbage. They actually their defensive line's not that great either.
Their
it's just
defense is not good in general.
But so I think that might be a different game.
It's easy to play. The Lions defense is a product of their offense putting up points and then playing from ahead. Not.
I also think that the 49ers look worse in the rain, and this is their own fault. But they didn't change. They should have went into the run game. They kept trying to pass with that rain, with how that rain was going. I think they put themselves in a bad situation.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand Shanahan's play calling there.
No.
Apparently they got I've seen a couple things, but one place has the line for Brock Purdy's passing yards is 274.5.
Okay, maybe not. That seems like a lot, eh? What is a typical passing game, you think?
I think the
300?
I was thinking about
250, 260.
I would figure like the other one I saw was like 266, and I thought that was pretty close to where he would be.
You know what, Chris? Can I say something here? And I think we are part of this issue. So we were at the Hawks game last week, and the guys behind us. First of all, I cannot stand when people come to, and these guys had great seats. Pat bought his tickets. They probably got them from work. These seats were amazing, and they did not. I don't feel like they paid attention to the game at all. First of all, and that's your prerogative. Do your thing. Kind of pisses me off because I'd love to. We were so into the game, but fine. The other thing though is a lot of their talk was just about gambling, and I kind of think. Listen, I'm not a morals guy or anything, and do what you want to do with your money. But I think there is kind of a maybe a little bit of an issue with gambling in younger guys.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I think anybody in that whole entire section was probably annoyed with the crap out of all of us because we actually were paying attention and having a good time at the game, and everybody else was just like,
I don't think too many people were paying attention.
Yeah, no, too many people. It was more. I feel like we are more at Kuhn and at home. And probably more liked up in the 300 section where people actually are there to see the game.
Yeah, that's fair.
Enjoy the game. This is more of like a status, a symbol type thing for these people in this area. Like, hey, look at how close we sat. We were at the game, this and that. They have no clue what the hell's going on. Where me, you, Brian, Pepsi, Pat are just like, fight the guy, hit him in the face. And just like all that stuff.
I definitely agree. My point was a little bit more towards the gambling aspect of it.
I was taking your kind of proponent where like the guys were talking about gambling and doing that, and just like that's all they did the whole entire game. I feel like, and
again, I just think every time I hear guys like in the bars nowadays,
I mean, gambling is so much more prevalent these days.
It's insane.
Well, obviously, I mean,
what
legalization is the reason of it.
Even one of my buddies was gambling on Europe basketball. He's like, I just needed something to have something during the day, and I'm like. All right, listen. I get we get alcoholics, but I really do think this. Like people gamble. Like the guy, the receiver for crap. Maybe it was the Saints. I don't know if it was the Saints. There's a rookie receiver who just got. Yeah, I think it was. No, it was the Saints. A rookie receiver with the Saints who just got charged with a felony for gambling because he's underage. You got to be 21 to do the online gaming. Guess how many bets he had in a year?
1,500.
9,000 bets.
1,500 seemed light. I was in like.
I have no.
9,000. It had to be. I think it was like 28 bets a day you had to have that amount.
That just seems outrageous. But I mean, like when you turn on the TV and every other commercial, some kind of game.
Yeah.
I mean, ESPN came out with like their own like betting like thing like 2 months ago. Every place has some kind of.
Guys at work, they're always talking about like their gambling and sports betting, so that and
I mean, look at the Cubs. The Cubs have
like Vegas. Nobody loses, right?
The Cubs have a sports book off the side of their stadium now.
But there's also there's giant casinos being built and sports books and new casinos so somebody's losing these
exactly.
So you talk about it's like anything. You talk about the one you win. I had that three team parlay, Chris, this weekend. But then I also lost 7 other bets that I don't talk about.
Yeah.
So I think it's a lot of that going on.
I think we're gonna see a little bit more. These guys, I don't know how much they're betting, but I think this is going to be a bigger issue down the road. I think something we need to look out for.
You're going to have something. You have a generation that's coming up already that doesn't seem to have quite the same outlook on working in general.
Yep.
And they're not buying. They're not doing things like buying houses. They're not.
Well, you really can. It's pretty expensive.
I'm saying, but that's still even before then the pandemic, there was not a lot of younger people buying stuff during when the rates were lower. So I think you have that combined with, this. I think that their fiscal responsibility is going to be interesting to watch this generation kind of going forward.
Is that old man talk right there, Chris? What do you think?
It's old man talk. It's just interesting. It's an
observation.
Get
off my lawn type shit.
It's an observation.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of old man talk. Maybe a little bit of truth sprinkled in with a little bit of old man talk there.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought like I keep what I was thinking. I was like, man, every time we have guys behind us, younger guys behind us, all they want to talk about is their bets.
I mean, the NFL, all these sports organizations, it's incredibly hypocritical when they're like, bet this, sports bet that, official sports book of the so-and-so team, and then like you get a commercial like, know your limits. Know what you can spend.
Yeah, if you have a gambling problem, it's call this number.
Because you're giving them a gambling problem because you give them 40 million options to do it.
Oh yeah.
First 7 bets free, guys.
You can't watch a sporting event and then go to commercial without having 6 or 7 commercials. I mean,
if you walk in Wrigley Field, there's like any sports, anything. It's like this. The official sponsor of betting is so-and-so.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a pregame problem, check out the Instagram and Twitter of the Saturday Night Pregame Podcast at Podcast SMP, Or if you need help, email Pat at the SMPpodcast@gmail.com.
He's just going to laugh at you.
He'll give you tips on how to get over your pregame issues. Ladies and gentlemen, do me a favor. Hit that BioStale. Hit that Liquid IV. Take them chill pills. Enjoy your weekend. Don't like my good friend says, there ain't no party like a pregame party, but you got to do it responsibly. Have a great week. Thank you for joining us. Hit that like, subscribe. What can they do, Chris?
There's no more bell. You just hit the subscribe button.
Oh, is there no more bell?
There
no more ring the notification,
Those parlay bets in
No,
this.
yep. You parlay those bets that Peter gave you earlier this week. Or earlier this podcast.
It's so funny that we give all these tips and then we bitch about the betting.
Yeah. Bye. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.